Hi, this is Sal Tuzzolino, host and ringmaster of the Sports Circus, the big top of sports talk radio. Did you hear this?
Hey, Sal, I'm sitting on my elephant top here on your circus, man.
Nice. Nice. Get off my elephant.
Hey, they were just over next to the Tigers. They had the fire rings, but I just thought I'd just jump on the elephant and come on in.
Clown around with us and stream the show online at thesportcircus.com. Join me, the human cannibal, Sideshow Bob, and Super Bowl champion defensive back from the San Francisco 49ers, Toy Cook, this Saturday morning at 6 on Fox Sports Radio 1340. Hello and welcome back to the Sports Circus. Here, the Friday edition. You catch the Saturday edition on Fox Sports Radio 1340 here in the Las Vegas market, or you can stream the show live at thesportcircus.com. Click the link in the center of the page, and it'll bring up the audio feed, and you're all set. So, we left off talking about the NFL, and now we're going to switch to this weekend's playoff games. Now, there's 4 games, and the interesting piece about this is that they're all rematches, every one of them. So, thinking about the betting world and the prognostication, I mean, look, I'm going at a clip of 81% for the year against the spread. That is absolutely absurd. A good handicapper will be just about 60%. I don't bet it. It doesn't matter to me. So I don't have a dog in the fight. But I'm letting all you people at home know that, hey, you could be making a little bit of money if you are betting the games. All I'm doing is picking them. So you could pick them too. You probably pick them better than I do, but then again, if you do, you'd be betting them. Now, wouldn't you? Anyway, so we have 4 games, and we have 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, and I like the matchups for a lot of different reasons. The first game is Seattle against Atlanta. Seattle's at Atlanta, and Seattle's actually getting 5 on the latest line that I saw on Vegas Insider. So Seattle beat Atlanta in a wild game at home, 26-24. That was earlier in the season. And mind you, there were injuries on the teams, and we've seen this and we've heard this over and over through the year. We hear it in every sport. It doesn't matter. There's always an injury. There's always something, always an excuse that something happened. It doesn't matter. Bottom line, Seattle beat Atlanta, period. Now, you have Atlanta and you have Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's playing at home. Why is it significant? Matt Ryan is a bona fide MVP candidate. He's probably one of the top 2 guys for it. My guess is he won't get it over Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers does get it. And there's a lot of reasons for it. And, of course, my friends in Green Bay and Milwaukee and all throughout Wisconsin, they'll love to hear that. So, anyway, Diane, that one's for you. So, I think that Seattle is going to do very well in this game against Atlanta. And they're getting a lot of points. And let's face it, Seattle has a very, very scary defense. This is a team that could beat anybody with defensive scoring. They didn't even have to score on the offensive side of the ball, which they certainly can with Russell Wilson, Thomas Rawls, Baldwin, etc., and on and on and on. This is a team that has too many weapons. They're maybe not the most talented offensive team, but they are downright scary on the defensive side of the ball. And we all know defense wins championships, so I'm taking Seattle +5. +5. How do you give Seattle +5? It was just like Clemson getting points against Alabama. What a freaking joke that was. I had Clemson, and I could, in fact, I was 1 point off on the total points. I guessed that game. I have to digress for a moment. I guessed that the total points would be, I said it was 35-28, 60, or 37-28, 65 points. There was actually 66 points scored in the game. And, of course, I had the Clemson side of the ball, too. So that was a huge winner, hence the chips. So that was 2 of the 6 of 7 that I had last week. So back to the NFL. Now, the second game is going to be New England is at home against Houston. Houston has no business being in this game. None. I don't care what they bring to the table. I don't care if they're running 15 guys on the offense or defensive side of the ball. They're playing Tom Brady, first and foremost. Secondly, the Houston Texans are a team that have no real talent on the offensive side of the ball. And on the defensive side of the ball, they're really missing their anchor, J.J. Watt. So this is a team that probably should lose. Well, let's face it, they lost 27-0 last time, and Brady wasn't even in the game. He was on the suspended list for the first 4 games. That was, I think, game 3 of the season. this could get really ugly really quick. This could be a 41-3 sort of a game. That's the kind of game that I'm looking for. I can't see New England doing anything but pounding this club from Houston, sending them back in a box. Go ahead and go home because you guys stink. So New England minus 16. That's what they have it at VegasInsider.com. That's where I get my lines from. And I'm not endorsing them, but I am saying it's a very credible source because they'll give all the different hotels and sportsbook. This is what the lines look like. So the trick is you still have to pick them. And of course, the weather is going to be a little bit chilly there. It'll probably be about 20 degrees with a wind chill of somewhere around 10, which doesn't really help the dome team from Houston. So look for a blowout in that game. I can't say anything but a blowout. It'll be kind of fun to watch, to be honest with you. And the third game is Pittsburgh and Kansas City. Pittsburgh beat Kansas City in a blowout at home earlier in the season, 43-14. Now this time, Kansas City's at home, and this is a very difficult place to play. Obviously you're going to have weather, but both of these two teams are used to playing weather, so the weather's a non-factor, even though you have a highly effective passing game with Pittsburgh, with Antonio Brown from Roethlisberger and Sammy Coates, etc. I don't really see that as being a huge deterrent because Pittsburgh will open the game up with Le'Veon Bell and D'Angelo Williams. That's the best two backs in the league. And frankly, I don't know. I would think that Le'Veon Bell should be considered for the MVP because he's really that good. And he doesn't open his mouth. He doesn't get out of line. He's a good guy. He does the right thing. But I think with Pittsburgh's running game, they have two dangerous backs, and they've got three dangerous wideouts, and you've got a very experienced quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger and a very good tight end. This is a team that can win, and they can win really big, as they show Kansas City. They beat them by 30 in the game previous, or 29, in the game previously that they played. So look for Pittsburgh to continue on with that and with their winning ways against Kansas City. Kansas City plays a very conservative offensive game, with the exception of Tyreek Hill. He's probably the most exciting player in the NFL as far as his kick returns. He's sort of a throwback to, well, can't really say a real throwback, but he's kind of like a smaller version of Devin Hester was with the Chicago Bears. And now, in fact, Devin Hester, I think, is with the Seattle Seahawks. As a matter of fact, he is. So look for Tyreek Hill to have a couple of big plays. Pittsburgh defense is a little suspect, but I think Pittsburgh gets the win in this one. Not really sure about the over and under, but I would certainly lay the 1 point to Kansas City. And let's face it, home field is worth 3 points. So really what the odds makers are saying is Pittsburgh is 2 points better. Go at Pittsburgh. You've got yourself a W there. Now, in the final game, it features Green Bay at Dallas. Earlier in the season, Dallas beats Green Bay at Green Bay. At Green Bay, 30-16. But this was a Green Bay team that did not have a running game. Aaron Rodgers was forced to throw the ball 73% of the time. And let's face it, he had an injured receiver in Randall Cobb. You had a hobbling receiver in Jordy Nelson. This is a team that really didn't have its weapons. I like what Green Bay has done for the last 7 weeks. Hard to say as a Bears fan. But I like the fact of how they've distributed the ball. Rodgers seems to have his footwork really, really down pat in the pocket. And even when he's rolling out, Hail Mary, we saw it. This guy he has the ability to throw the ball downfield and make the miracle Hail Mary completions. It's unbelievable. There's only one guy I've ever seen that could do that in the NFL, and that was John Elway. And John Elway threw the ball 80 yards in the air. But I don't think Green Bay gets the win in this one. I'm going with Dallas in this one. Dallas is home. Dallas has a big running game, and I just don't think that Green Bay is going to be able to stop the Dallas running game. Now, I gave the exact opposite discussion when these two teams played each other before. I had Green Bay beating them. They had a good run defense. Well, not so. I think Dallas has proven their running game. The biggest question is going to be, will Dallas have to face 8 men in the box against Green Bay? Because I think Green Bay is going to stack the line and force Dak Prescott to beat him. He hasn't really proven himself to be able to throw the ball downfield consistently. So this is going to be a big challenge for him. I don't think that Dallas is going to cover. I think it'll be a really tight game. But frankly, I'm going to stay away from the game. I don't like it. I don't care if the game temp is good, 65 degrees inside of AT&T Stadium or whatever the heck they call that place down in Dallas now. I just think that Dallas will win the game. I don't know if they're going to cover. So it'll be a very entertaining game. Everyone says that'll be the game to watch. I don't believe that. I think the game to watch is going to be Seattle at Atlanta. Now, Seattle's had their road woes, but remember, defense wins championships. So I happen to believe that these games are going to be fun to watch, but go a little bit light on the action. If you're going to go heavy on any of these games, go Pittsburgh and New England. In fact, in the NFL, as the playoffs move on, I think I predicted this about 9 or 10 weeks ago. I said that Seattle would play Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl, and I've got Seattle beating Pittsburgh. Of course, Pittsburgh has to go into New England and upset New England, which, let's face it, when they played each other before, Roethlisberger was out. Wasn't really a fair depiction of what those two teams could do against one another. I still have Pittsburgh beating New England, and I've got Seattle winning out and winning everything. So you heard that from Sal the Bookmaker here on the Sports Circus, and you can reach us at thesportcircus.com. Also, you can listen to our show tomorrow on Fox Sports Radio, 1340 AM KRLV. See you soon.